Alright, CAD fans, what we're going to do here is draw this bridge abutment, or a bridge abutment like this one, in 3D. I just wanted to point out what one looks like so you have an idea where I'm going. The bottom part here that's just underwater is the footing. This part right here, that if you can't see the other side, but that's what's called the abutment that supports the end of the bridge. And then to the left over here is the wing wall, which goes, in this case, pretty much straight across, but note that it tapers down, supporting the earth behind it. And then on the opposite, so in Microstation I started with a 3D seed file, set up a few levels, and what I'm going to do is start from the bottom up like you'd build it with the footing, and draw that in. I'll start with a slab in the solids modeling group. So let's see, top view, left click. This is going to be 18 meters wide, 4.5 meters deep, and 1 meter thick. So let's see, 1 meter right there. So there it is. Okay. And next thing, I'll draw the footing for a wing wall in. I think I'm going to do that in 2D and then thicken it. So starting from this back corner of the footing, I'll tentative, which is the middle mouse button or both at the same time, O key, up a meter, left click, space bar to polar AccuDraw, because I'm going to draw them at an angle, which is the way you usually see them. Go back 12 meters at an angle of 25 degrees. Left click, and then I want to go this way, back with a regular AccuDraw, 3.8 meters. Go back all the way. I'm going to hit the enter key to make it lock in that orientation. Go all the way back to touch this other one. Hit the N for nearest. Left click, and then back to the beginning right there. So that's just in 2D though. Now I'm going to want to thicken that out. I can move in here, thicken that out, and I can use a tool called Thicken Surface, or Solid by Thicken Surface. So I pick the surface and then define the thickness. I'll go down here in the front view and thicken that out, and now I should have one of them right there. Often what I'll do in isometric is switch that to an illustration so I can see what's kind of how things are lining up. Now what we want to do is make a copy of that, right? So let's I keep switching to bigger view so you can see it a little better. Let's try a mirror. That's going to be mirror about vertical, I think. Yep. Move over. Probably if I just move this, hit enter to line up the lock, and then pick the center of that, it should pop right there. Of course I didn't do make a copy. One more time. Enter. There it is. Checking my isometric. Yep, that's what I wanted. Now I'll put the abutment itself in. I think I'll go back to the slab tool for that. Let's see, tentative there. O, up a meter, over a meter. Left click and draw this in at, I think, 2 meters wide by 16. And I'm going to switch to the front view. So I can draw the height in, which I think is 5 meters. So I'll keep it in the screen there. You can see it going in the isometric. Okay. But the abutment really isn't just a slab like that, is it? It's got some shape to it. So let's switch to the right side view. If we can find where we're at. There it is. And I'm going to want to cut a couple of chunks of this out. So I'm going to switch to red just so I can see it a little better. And the smart line. Then we're going to go right in here and tentative in that corner. O, go over 1.4 meters. left click, go down a little bit, 2 meters, like that, and I'm going to go down just an additional 0.2, type that in, and go over. So this has a little bit of a taper to it, so the water will run off. Base rotation to go back to normal, up to that corner, and then back to where I started. So notice how I move the mouse down to pick up that red line and then snap to the end of that line. You're going to be real careful because it'll run in 3D if you don't pay close attention. So if I look in here, there's my red object right there. So what I'm going to do is use this red thing. Let's make this bigger. It's driving me crazy. Use this red thing to cut through the abutment. That was a crazy maneuver there. Why don't we just do this? And go to the solids. I'm going to use the cut solid by curve. So there's the solid abutment. There's the cutting profile. It's going to go in both directions. I left click and it trims off the front of the abutment. I left click to accept. So looking at the isometric, now I've got a big cutout at the front of that. We want to do the same thing on the back for the approach slab. So let's go ahead and do that. Tuckerman Ravine season in New Hampshire.
This gives you a new appreciation for lift service.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Uh-oh. Trouble. Turn it out. Turn it out. Short. That's what I'm saying.
Type that in. 0.95 over 0.15. Typing those in. Back up to the top. It doesn't really matter where you land, actually. You can go outside of the shape as long as you make sure you connect back to that red line again. I think that'll probably work. Cut that back side off for the approach slab. There it is. Next, let's go ahead and draw in the wing walls. I noticed I already drew too much in the footing level, so I'll have to switch that later. But then we'll go to top view, and I think I'll just start right about in there with a wing wall. Where's the slab tool? And I'm just going to draw it and rotate it later. 12 meters by 0.9 meters. Switch to front view. And that is going to be 5 meters high. So there's the basic wall. Switch to the side view. And in this case, it actually is only that thick for half of the wall. So I'm going to do the same thing as I just did and cut out a piece of it. Starting here, go in 0.45, that's good. I want to look at the side, hit the S key. I'm going to go down 2.5, left click, over to there, and do the same cutting routine. So there's the wing wall. Top view, I think I'll make a copy of that before I get too crazy. See, it's the SOFT again. I need to go to T, and then I can move over here. Okay. Now we'll try to rotate one of these and put it in place. Rotate that about that point. I need to be at 25 degrees, right? And then I'm going to zoom in right here and try to line it up with the wall. If everything works correctly with a move, this should line up right in here about. Maybe a little bit farther down. We'll call it there, because these two pieces of wall more or less line up.